Yes, people, smash the like on the video. One ISTV is back for this game week 13. It's gonna be loud this weekend. I'm telling you, check the fixtures. It's gonna be crazy this weekend. Starting on this Friday, the preview, the game against Brighton, who's gonna be loud very soon against Southampton. What are you looking at? Look at us Saturday. Before I welcome Irate and Jefferson with me on them quickly. Run this straight up. Please, people. They don't need to be on it. Smash the like on the video. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. I don't know what you're waiting for. Building up the community of football soccer loving fans together. People, Saturday is going to be loud as well. Brentford welcoming Leicester City. Crystal Palace doing the same, welcoming Newcastle this weekend. I tell you, Ipswich will be traveling to Nottingham Forest. What about Bournemouth? Bournemouth also will be packing their luggage straight to Wolves. And I tell you, West Ham, Arsenal, I'm looking at Jeffer's face. He's thinking like, if I think Arsenal might lose this game. That's the way Jeffers is looking as well. I'm telling you. What about Sunday? After church or before church, some people at home watching this game. Chelsea will come in Aston Villa. What about Manchester United, my great club? Oh, we are going to beat this team called Everton. Because of Amorim, Irate doesn't love my club anymore. All right. What about Fulham? Fulham will be traveling to Spurs. I tell you, the last game weekend, is against the club I don't really like. I tell you, this Liverpool, we welcome in this elegant Man City. Are they going to be straight to 6 beating? I can't say, but it looks like everybody, Liverpool are just wiping them seriously. Don't go there. Don't play at Anfield, people. I think it's high time for the FA to look at that stadium. Do investigation about that stadium. You either lose. I'm telling you, Irate. Let me use this to welcome Irate people. Irate, what is going on in that place? Why is that place so loud that nobody can win that place? Tell me something. Irate, welcome to the show. Omo, you been serious.
Thank you, Didon. I mean, Anfield is, like you said, FA need to investigate. Maybe they should dig the ground and see if there's some, as we say in African football, maybe there's something underneath that grass that needs to be dug out.
And all the fans will always, that spirit will just come out from nowhere. Don't stop.
Especially when you face the cup. And the funny thing is, sometimes it gets quiet, right? But they only need one action, either from the opposition or maybe a tackle from a Liverpool player, and everybody gets up again and the noise levels go, they raise the roof. And anytime Anfield is the 11th man for Liverpool, opposition is in trouble. More often than not, we've always gotten results. But yeah, it's good to be here. Game week 13. We have a big game coming up this weekend.
Absolutely.
That will go a long way in deciding the title race. So let's get into it.
All right, let's get into it. Smash the like for this man, Irate, here in the building. What about Jeffers? Jeffers, why are you looking like Arsenal is going to lose this weekend? Talk to me. Yeah, welcome to the show.
Wait.
West Ham is in form, Jeffers.
I'm not worried. I'll be honest with you. Look, I will say this is going to be one of the easiest fixtures Arsenal play this season, because the thing is this. This is the reason why. I have seen West Ham this season.
Yes.
I actually watched their game on Monday against Newcastle, and I'll be honest with you.
They are rubbish.
That game, Newcastle actually did the playing. It was just 2 minutes where Newcastle lost concentration. That was when they conceded both goals. West Ham didn't actually play. If you just take out this person up front, you take out Antonio, that's it. Wan-Bissaka had a good game because the Newcastle midfield gave him free options to actually drive into the 18. That was the honest truth. Wan-Bissaka was actually spending more time in the opposing half than in his own half in that game. And that's just the honest truth. So I think personally for me, West Ham actually had an easy game, and I think they only helped to make it easy. But the thing is this: you're playing an Arsenal side that all of a sudden has found a way to start getting results and scoring goals, all because one man is back in the team. And we've already seen that not only is he back in the team, you have a player who is in the form of his life. As in, I do not see the form he is right now. It's going to be hard to stop him. And then there's a familiar face who is actually coming back to the London Stadium. And the last time he was at the London Stadium, he ran the show. So I don't know how they're going to do it. The last time he was at the London Stadium to actually play West Ham, he ran the show. And that's Declan Rice. And believe you me, I want to see how West Ham will cope, because I'm looking at that West Ham midfield and I'm saying the honest truth. I do not see anyone there who will stop this team from letting out it.
My goodness. All right, let's break it down. Welcome everybody onto this show. Irate, Jeffers, let's do this. This fixtures game 13 looks like any moment from now, Brighton will be against Southampton. Let me start with you, Irate. Brighton, they are also in form too.
Very good form. They are and there's something about Brighton that is unique. How they are able to, and I know Liverpool does this as well, but Brighton is a team with a relatively lower budget compared to Liverpool and a smaller size squad. How are they able to lose coaches and bring in very able replacements for the coaches that I still don't know how they do it? If you look at the amount of players they have lost, they lost Potter, they lost De Zerbi. Before Potter was Chris Hughton, I think. They've been losing coaches, losing players, and they are still able to maintain their level. I really don't know what the secret is to their success. But one thing is for sure, this man is the youngest manager in the Premier League at 31 years of age, coming from second division in Bundesliga. It was relatively unknown.
That's what I want to say. And they're playing good football.
And they are playing good football. And even the likes of Danny Welbeck, he has been reinvigorated. His performances have been top-notch. João Pedro has been scoring goals and assisting. Mitoma seems to be enjoying his football. The good thing is, Liverpool has played Brighton twice in, I think, last 1 month. And those 2 times, they gave us a run for our money. Even at Anfield. The way they approach, the way they bypass your press, I really don't know. It goes from, they go from a 4-2-3-1 into a 4-2-4 in quick transition. The midfielders get the ball pass through, they get the ball from the defense, and within one pass, they've split through your defense line. Just one final pass, and that's it. So, Brighton are a team on form right now, which is bad news for Southampton, which on the other hand are, I think, last in the table, and their manager has refused to change their style of play. I think they are doomed, if you ask me. They will get relegated. It's just a matter of time. And them going to Brighton, I don't see, even though, yes, they gave some fights to Liverpool in the last game, but even Liverpool were not really up to their races in that game.
Yeah.
So I think Southampton is only going to get a loss from this game.
Absolutely. Moving on to Saturday game, Brentford, Leicester City. Jeffers, do you think Leicester City can come out victorious in this game?
They have a new coach, right?
Yeah, they have a new coach.
Yeah, but he's not taking charge for this.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not taking charge of him. There's not the papers on the other side. But I'll be honest with you, it's looking very, very, very unlikely that that will happen. Because this is one thing we need to understand. It's Brentford.
Yes.
It's the G-Tech Community Stadium. That stadium has had the most goals in the Premier League this season.
That Brentford Stadium.
Yes, go and check.
Community Stadium.
And this is exactly where Brentford get to do majority of their damage. I have looked at Brentford, and I'll be honest with you. How I can tell you for free that Thomas Frank will not be Brentford manager by next season because that guy is going places. I'll be honest with you. This is a side that actually lost basically their best attacking player. And to be honest with you, they didn't lose him in this transfer window. They actually lost him last season because with the whole betting ban and everything, they found a way to navigate without him. And they were successful in doing it, even though it affected them on the league position at some point. But when he came back till the season ended, how many goals did Ivan Toney actually score? Just one. Their goals were coming from other sources, precisely Brandon Buemo and Jon Wissa. Those were two revelations that they had that stood out for them last season. And this season, the run has continued. I'll be honest with you, Leicester right now, an interim manager is going to be in charge of the game tomorrow. But I guess they cannot wait for Van Nistelrooy to take over that team because the truth is, that team is in shambles. They need fresh ideas. It's very, very interesting to realize about that Leicester signed two strikers this season,
Yeah.
both from Crystal Palace.
Palace.
And the funniest thing is, the top scorer in that team is still a 39-year-old man. That's how bad it is. After him, the next top scorer is a defender. That's letting you know that the strikers
So
are not doing their
they're
job.
struggling. Yeah.
And the truth is this, as a side, you may not always get a clean sheet, but the thing is this, you should be able to give as good as you got. That means if you can concede one goal, you should be able to score at least one back.
Wow.
Leicester are not doing that, and that is why they are right where they are on the table. I'll be honest with you. If they play the way they played on Saturday against Chelsea, if they try it tomorrow, Brentford will be up by 4 before halftime. It's that easy to go through. The person I pity most in that Leicester season is the goalkeeper because with those kind of defenders he has in front of him, why would you concede goals? You will concede goals because those guys are not even making matters easy for you.
Yeah.
They are too porous. They lose concentration easily, and when
Easily.
that happens, you have a free way to go in. For Brentford, I know the last game they actually for them, I think they went into game management because they actually lost their captain due to a tackle, a very, very funny and controversial tackle that got him sent off. But in the absence of Nordgaard, I think they have players who can actually keep up and actually get the job done. And I think, to be honest with you, I see them getting all 3 points. And it's very, very funny because it's about that the striker they actually used to replace Ivan Toney is actually injured till almost the end of the season. That's
Wow.
Igor. And they
Igor.
are still finding a way to get the job done. The question now is, why is Leicester finding it difficult to do the same thing? The thing is, Leicester fans need to understand one thing. This Leicester side you're seeing is not the former Premier League champion. It's not the former FA Cup winners. At this point, Leicester are basically a newly promoted side. Do not be given high expectations. You have to do your best to grind results because you're building from scratch. Then maybe eventually, if you guys can actually keep up a run of about 2, 3 seasons in the Premier League, you might say, okay, fine. We've been there before. Maybe we can try and do it again. If not, if you start to count your eggs before they are hatched already, we know what's going to happen. Definitely.
All right. Quickly, let's talk about this next game. Newcastle going to Crystal Palace. I rate they lost. Newcastle lost 2-0 the last match, while
Yeah.
Crystal Palace drew the game against Aston Villa. What do you think uh, Newcastle should do at this moment, at least to get a point? Because it's like the way they are, they will play better this day, they will get a result the next match. You just find them nowhere near their level. What do you think Newcastle should do at this moment going into this game? It's an away
Newcastle
game.
is an away game, and their next game is at home to Liverpool.
Yeah.
Who they've struggled in that fixture in recent years, but this is an opportunity for them to get back to winning ways. Crystal Palace, though they got the point against Villa, but they've not been at their. We've not seen the best version of Crystal Palace. Attack wise, they are kind of struggling. They brought in Ismail Assar, who I think has added pace, but not end product. And
Yeah.
also in Ketia from Arsenal, who has 0 goals, 0 assists so far
Can
this
you
season.
imagine?
So they are relying on Eze and Mateta. Eze was injured. I think he only just got back. And, only a fully fit Mateta is their hope right now. So
Yeah.
Crystal Palace are struggling. I think there's an opportunity for Newcastle, who for me, yes, they lost against West Ham, but they missed loads of chances, bundles of
Yeah.
chances. They need to take those chances in this game. If
Yeah.
they can create as many chances as they did in the West Ham game, stick to the plan. I don't think they actually played badly. I don't think they played badly at all. They just couldn't finish.
They
That
picked up
was
in the
their
second.
major
They picked up in the
problem in
second
that
half, but
game.
by that
And that is what
it's already too late.
Yeah.
yeah, of course they tried to come back, but it was already too late. And I think their partnership of what's this Swiss guy's name? Lewis
Isak.
and the other Fabian Sker. Fabian
Okay,
Sker
Fabian
and
Stella
Lewis.
and
Yeah,
Lewis.
it's
Lewis
that
Hall.
combination is not working at the back. Something is, especially that Lewis and all the left-sided area of the back line is very weak. They need maybe to have, I don't know, maybe Botman I think is out for a while as well. So that left
I think
side.
he's. I think he's. I think that Bon is fit to go this week. I think he might
Yeah,
play
so if
play the
Bond is
part.
fit, I would expect Bond to come in to try to show up that defense line.
Defense line.
But attack wise, Isak, I think, is always a threat. You have Avi Barnes, you have Joel Linton, you have Joseph Willock, who for me, I think, is a very fantastic player. And Tonali should start. Why are you benching Tonali over long? I don't think Longstaff can give you what Tonali gives you. So if you can
Oh.
these players starting against a Crystal Palace side that has struggled this season, I don't see how Newcastle will not get 3 points, which is what Eddie Howe needs, because right now we are hearing that there are managers from outside like Graham Potter and even Jose Mourinho that are eyeing this Newcastle job. He is not in Europe this season. He needs to prove that he is a manager to take them forward. Otherwise, it's going to fall by the side and a bigger coach, will come and take over in this team. So, but for me, I see them winning. If you ask me honest, I don't see how Crystal Palace. I mean, this is football. Anything can happen, but on paper, Newcastle
Anything
should
can
win
happen.
this game.
Yes, Newcastle should win this game. Let's talk about this next game, Nottingham Forest Ipswich. Jeffers, can you take us there? Nottingham Forest. The boats
Okay. This one
Ipswich
I think
last one.
this one for Nottingham
Yeah, go ahead.
back to the drawing boards because the high flying side with the performance and everything, I think they got a grinding halt last week against Arsenal. Um, for Ipswich Town, I think Ipswich will be riding high on that performance against
Performance.
United.
Yes.
Exactly. And I think they want to prove again that last week wasn't a fluke. However, this is my major concern. If Ipswich were at home, I might say, okay, they might give it a shot, but they're going to the Forest Ground. It's not going to be easy,
Hmm.
especially when Chris Wood will be starting tomorrow. Because I think the
I think I lost him there. Jeffers, the internet is
seriously,
yeah, it's back.
because I'm looking at that Nottingham Forest side. They have from the back all the way down to the front. So I think this week you have to be careful. If not, I see Nottingham Forest taking this one easily.
Mm. All right. Moving on to Wolves versus Bournemouth. Irate, what are you thinking about that game? Wolves had a tremendous game the last time. And do you think what do you think
Mm-hmm.
about this game? Yeah. What do you think about
I
this
think
game?
it's like you said, Wolves have started to pick up points. There's been a lot of pressure on O'Neill, and some fans have called for him to be sacked. But the good news for him is in the last 2 games, he's been able to get 4 points. And their
Yeah.
last game was an emphatic away victory, 4 goals to
Over
none.
four, yeah, over 4-1.
Yeah, over
I can't
Fulham
believe it.
with Matheus Cunha
I can't
with
just
2 beautiful goals and
two
an
beautiful
assist.
goals.
He's a man in form right now. So this is a good time for Wolves, and this game is at home. Bournemouth on the other side, I think they lost their last
They
game.
lost. They lost their
I
last
think
game.
Bournemouth lost last weekend. Not sure.
Yes. 2-1.
Yeah. At home. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
against Brighton.
they would want to bounce back against Brighton. They almost
Yeah.
want to bounce back. Definitely, they do have the attacking qualities to hurt any opposition. But I think right now the momentum is with Wolves, and the players have realized that we are no longer in the beginning of the season. Like I said, this is time we begin to separate the men from the boys. We are now getting to the middle of the season, and they need to start picking up points. Otherwise, they are flirting with relegation. So, with Matheus Cunha in form, Mario Lemina very solid in midfield alongside Andre and João Neves, and also they have the likes of Bellegarde on the wings and Strand Larsen up front. I think Wolves will cause any opposition problem right now. They seem to be in gear, so I think they should be able to win this game against Bournemouth. It's going to be close. I think Bournemouth will score definitely, but I think Wolves should just nick it with the momentum they have going. I think they'll
Yeah.
keep up with that. So I'm saying a 2-1 win for Wolves.
A 2-1 win for Wolves. Let's quickly go straight into this next game. West Ham will be welcoming Arsenal. Jeffers, back again on this one, the preview for this game, West Ham versus Arsenal. What do you
Yeah.
think about this game? Do you think Arsenal can have a 3-point easy win, or do you think West
I
Ham
think
could
it's going
cause
to be.
them?
I think it's going to be a major one for Arsenal because in
Uh,
this game
uh,
I think one person will be absent.
uh,
Yes, Gabi
hmm.
will not be playing tomorrow. Gabi won't be
Oh,
playing tomorrow. He has a discomfort, so there's going to be a shuffling at the back line for this game. I know that obviously,
So
yes,
Kiwior, I think
uh,
Kiwior will be coming in.
Kivio will be coming in. Kivio will be
Mhm.
coming in. And for me, I'm always very, very worried when Kivio comes in. It's not as if he's a bad player, but the thing is
is
this:
he a bad player?
he isn't. But the thing is this: I think there's this fear of trying to be careful that seems to have because I've actually seen Kivio play for the national team, and he does a good job in the national team. I think he's basically their linchpin. I think maybe it's a case of the fact that he's actually playing a bit more advanced for the national team because he's more or less like in defensive midfield for the national team. But club side, he goes to the back, and when that happens, he tends to like get worried of not making a mistake. And anytime he's worried about not making a mistake, he ends up making that mistake,
That
and
mistake.
then there's a problem. I think this one basically West Ham will actually have a lot to give because the thing is this: if there is one thing that's very very hard to stop, is actually a train that is moving at full speed.
Hmm.
And at the rate at which Arsenal are going right now, Arsenal know basically at this point if they want to challenge for the title this season, they can't afford to drop points in any game,
In any game.
at least for now. They have to keep on going fire for fire, game by game. You get chances, you take it. I think Arteta gradually has finally found a way to get his team back to shape where they are. Because if you looked at the last 2 fixtures, there has been
Yeah.
some very, very interesting lineups. The one on Saturday, I think I mentioned that I said there's every likelihood that Jesus might actually start. And funny enough, it's as if was actually listening to me because
Listen to the.
he started Jesus. He started Jesus and he left Havertz on the bench. And midweek, people were thinking, okay, maybe this man wants to go with Jesus again. He started Havertz this time up front and he just shuffled the whole thing. So I think
That's a good
this
one.
one is going to be a very, very interesting one. You tend to have an idea basically of what West Ham will play because I think, in all honesty, West Ham are already short of players. Seriously, they basically are having issues. Kudus is not going to play because he's still serving a suspension. I think this guy picked up a knock in the last game. Guido Gonzalez. I don't know if he's going to actually be playing this
The
game.
Rodriguez.
And Guido Rodriguez, exactly. And the other guy who they got him from Ajax as well too. He is not one man you want to trust in Army because he tends to have some erratic performances. I think West Ham's game will be focused mainly on three players: Jared Bowen,
What? Yeah, Bowen.
um, Bowen, yes, Bowen, Philogene. Okay, no, Philogene is at Aston Villa. I'm talking about Somerville.
Yeah.
Somerville and Antonio. As for Antonio, I think the matchup between himself and Saliba will be a war
A war.
because where Antonio tends to be rugged when he wants to go in.
Yeah.
Saliba likes to handle it calm and easy. Just go in, no stress, get the ball and move on. But I think he's going to be supported majorly with Thomas Partey because Partey will tend to drift towards the back to actually support. So I think Antonio will actually have his hands full. As for the guys on the flanks,
Martinelli and Saka.
Martinelli and Saka, I do not see what West Ham can actually do to handle those two guys because those guys are in form, especially Bukayo Saka. Bukayo Saka has about 8 assists already this season. He's just 12 more to actually equal the record for the most assists in the season. And if you've been looking at the way
Mm,
Arsenal have been playing, it's just
mm,
a case of wondering, is this going to be the season when finally
mm.
Thierry Henry's record will be broken? And funny enough, if it's going to be broken by another Arsenal player, we will get to know in the remaining set of games. But the form is going, I don't expect anything apart from another assist again tomorrow. Let's be realistic because it's looking like it's going to happen. I'm looking at that West Ham defense, and in all honesty, it's not looking convincing. I think for Wan-Bissaka, it's a case of if you let him stay in the back, he might
Hmm.
be a. It might be easier for him to actually stay up front than staying at the back because I've seen Bissaka play. When the pressure gets to Bissaka, he breaks down.
He breaks down. He
He
just
breaks down. Exactly.
is
He
somewhere
breaks
near
down,
it.
and
Yeah.
it's nowhere near it. That's why my boy is. He's going to have a few days. I do not know how he's going to do it, but he's going to have a few days. But anyways, it's I think Lopetegui, we have to prove that he actually is the man for the job. Although I think this game might be, if he's judged over this game, I think it might be a bit hard because it's going to be very, very tough, very, very tough for him. Let's see how it goes. But anyway, I feel like Arsenal might actually take this one once again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
about 1 or 2 nil. Yes, it will.
All right.
So can we, Jeffers, can we say Arsenal is an Odegaard injury away from not challenging from the title?
Oh, that's
I
a good
think this
question.
time I will say, I think this
That's a
time I
good
will
question.
say,
That's a good question.
Odegaard will play a major role, but I don't think there's going to be another injury to actually take them away from the title. Although I think Merino, personally, I feel like Arsenal could have kept Smith Rowe.
So,
Personally,
no.
for me, I felt he should have been kept because the thing is this: I've seen what Smithy can do, but I think the
Hmm.
club is trying to put that focus right now on Ethan Waneri, and that is why they decided to take that choice to make that sacrifice of letting Smith go. Because I've seen Waneri play, and I'm actually seeing a bit of similarity between his play style and that of
The
Odegaard. I
style
think
and
that might be the
Odegaard.
reason why they've chosen
Yeah.
to keep him exactly. So I think maybe we will get to know. I think one thing I know is certain is this: Arteta will not be like Pep, who will actually have the balls to actually use an academy player and put him in the starting 11 directly. Ateta would like to do his own case by
I don't think
gradually
Ateta
easing
even
into.
uses all these academy players. I don't think Ateta
He
uses.
does, but what he does is he eases
I
them
did.
in. He uses them mainly for cup games. That's what he does. He gives them the opportunity in the cup games to actually blend in into the team. Then
But
by
it's very.
next season, because with the cup games they're already at the edge, then by the next season he starts to bring them into the first team gradually.
All right, so let's move on to this game of the weekend on Sunday. Chelsea welcoming Aston Villa. This is another cracking game. I rate. Ade, what do you think about this game? Massive game.
Absolutely.
London.
Massive game. Yeah. It's for me, Aston Villa needs to get back to winning ways. In the midweek, they drew. I mean, it's against Juventus, who are European giants, so it's not the worst result.
And we know
And in the
Juventus
weekend,
basically. What if Juventus is this? If they can't score,
You can't
you
you
can
score
score
them.
them.
generally do not get to score as well. So that is just
So I think they also drew last weekend, the weekend game as well. So
Yeah, with Crystal
yeah.
Palace.
Palace.
it's an opportunity for them to get back to winning ways. Unfortunately, Chelsea are currently on good run right now, I would say.
Yeah.
They are winning
Yeah.
games, they are playing better. There seems to be a settled style of play and system that Maresca wants, and the players are, able to implement this style now. So nowadays there is more stability to the team. We can tell who starts for Chelsea. We can actually predict the starting 11. So that is where Chelsea are right now. They're in a better place than they were last season. So I believe they will give Aston Villa a run for their money, especially playing at home. We saw the game yesterday. Sancho had a couple of goals and very good performances across board for Chelsea. But Aston Villa is a different kettle of fish in the sense that, in terms of quality,
Yeah.
they have better quality than the team that Chelsea faced yesterday in the Conference League. I think it's going to be
Yeah.
a tough game. They both have a point to prove right now because the top four places are still up for grabs. I think for me, the top three is sealed. The fourth position, you have a couple of teams fighting for that position right
Yeah.
now.
You're hovering
And
over the fourth
Aston Villa
position.
is not so far from it. You also have the likes of hovering, Brighton, Nottingham Forest. Everyone is
Yeah.
trying to get to that position. So
Yeah.
this is a game that might actually decide who gets that position eventually. It's a big game, definitely for sure. It's a big game, and I think Jackson, Palmer, they are in good form right now, and they are able to create a partnership up front for Chelsea. Aston Villa, Oli Watkins, they need to get him more on the ball, but I think Aston Villa, the biggest concern for me is two things. They've not been able to replace Douglas Lewis. Tillemans has done a
Yes.
decent job, but he gives the ball
But
away
he's
too
not
often,
Lewis.
Tillemans.
Yeah.
And he's
Yeah.
not Lewis. And Kamara also just go back from injury. He's not been able to replace him. And then you have a Leon Bailey that is struggling for form. Emery needs to find a way to
Absolutely.
get Leon Bailey back into form. He can't rely on Watkins all alone. He can't do it all by himself. And then they have Morgan Rogers, who has been in great form this season. So it's a game of very good attacking quality that we are expecting from this fixture. And I would say it's a tough one to call if you ask me honestly. I would go for a draw here, a 2-2 draw. I think it will be an
Believe you
entertaining.
me, believe you me, if this game does not produce goals, as in if this game ends in a goalless draw, I will be the most disappointed person, in all
What?
honesty. Because this game has every potential to bring in goals. It has everything needed to get goals. We're
Yeah,
talking about a defense that is kind of losing quality in itself on both sides.
on
Because
both sides,
Yeah.
yes.
I was following Chelsea's game yesterday, and I was seeing Chelsea fans saying, "How did the Sassy get to wear the captain armband?" I don't get, because
Ah,
he was terrible. It was the goalkeeper that saved them. Yes, especially in the first half, it was the goalie that saved them. These guys had no, and I was like, I said it. For every good thing Chelsea has got, I think it basically starts at midfield and ends in attack. Defensively, there's nothing to write home about. And it's very, very interesting that Chelsea actually are in this form when you consider the fact that their top scorer is actually finding it hard to get Premier League games. He's not even playing. He only basically comes into end games. For Villa, on the other hand, I think some players have actually stood out for Villa this season. Philogene has been one of them, although he's gradually getting in. He's not starting. John Duran still remains that one man who, whenever you see that signboard gets raised and you see the 9 coming in, you'll be worried because I have looked at this guy play and I can tell you one thing. If Emery brings him in around the 60th or the 70th minute in that game on Sunday, Villa will get a goal because I do not see how those guys at the back will hold it. That's one. 2, Iris mentioned Oli Watkins. The truth is this: Villa seem to be struggling this season because the pointsmen of last season are not informed. Let's be realistic. I think a whole lot of players from the England side that went to the Euros, funny enough, are not informed at the moment. I don't think anyone has noticed.
All of them.
A lot
almost
of them
almost
are
all
not
of
informed.
all of them.
All of them are not informed.
Almost
The
all of
only
them.
people who seem to have stood out this season are this guy at the back, Pickford.
Yeah,
One,
goalkeeper. Yeah.
Pickford,
Pickford,
McGay.
Gay is still 50-50.
Yeah, I
Then
think
Harry
Gay is
Kane
actually is trying his best. I would say
is
it's
trying his best.
since
Yes, he's trying his best.
Anderson left, the workload has been
Yes,
really much for him at the
that's been
back,
double
especially
on
with
him
the
because the
new.
other guy
Yeah,
partnering him,
double.
the guy partnering him is
Mhm.
not doing anything. In all honesty, sorry.
Yeah,
Gehi, Bukayo
Saka,
Saka,
Kane,
and Harry Kane.
and
That's
Palmer.
it. Palmer didn't
Palmer.
start.
Yeah, he
That's
didn't
why I
start
took him out.
actually.
He didn't start. I'm looking at the starting 11. Those are the players that are on form. And to be honest with you,
Phil Foden
in
has been
times of
The
abysmal.
Foden has been
Foden
abysmal
has
this
been
season.
abysmal this season. And I said this thing. I said, look, this is I'll talk about it much better when we actually focus on the City Liverpool game. But the truth is this game, I expect goals to come in this game. The thing is this: if Chelsea underrates Villa, it will come back to haunt them. Villa, you might say Chelsea had a game on Thursday, but the truth is this: we know where Chelsea is right now. Chelsea can afford to name a totally fresh starting 11 from the one that they named
All to
yesterday, all together, and it won't change anything. So that means forget what Chelsea played yesterday. Tomorrow is on Monday, Sunday is a different team that's going to play. So, what do Villa have to bring to the table?
Yeah.
I guess we'll find out on Sunday.
All right. So tomorrow the best club in England will be playing against Everton. Irate, will you please take us there? I mean, should we look at this game as 3 points for Everton?
The thing
Talk
is,
to me, Irate.
I read something this morning. I mean, apart from Amorim seeing it, finding himself in a situation he should have expected. I mean, he has to be a clown if he's surprised by what he's seen by these Man United players. He has probably not been watching them, or, or nobody, or he was not informed because he's actually having a go at individual players. He's had a go at Johnny Evans. He's had a go at is it Garnacho or who recently? He's having a direct go at players. And I said this thing. I said the move is risky for his career, and it has
How do
happened
you
to
say
other
that?
coaches. Thank you. Is a coach with a good reputation coming from Portugal. Same with Ten Hag as well. And we saw how Ten Hag found himself in this pit called Man United. And
Yeah.
now his stock has fallen. And Ruben Amorim is currently walking that line right now. And he is already complaining. His first press conference, he said he has belief in himself and the club.
Ben.
And the next one after the first game, he said his players are struggling to adapt to his methods and are making a lot of mistakes.
And the
That
third
is
one, he
one.
said you basically finished the game with anxiety.
And he said
You're
yes.
already
He said
setting
the players were afraid, and,
you're
and they
setting
finished
a
the game.
wrong trajectory with those kind of statements now.
Good.
It's not looking good.
He's setting a wrong precedent by making those kind of statements and having a go directly at players. Not even someone as experienced as Johnny Evans. Come on. But the thing is, we saw yesterday how shaky Man United have been, and now I'm reading in rumors that Man U want to go for Osimhen in January, and I'm like, how can you waste 600 million
They are just joking. I don't
six
think so.
hundred million the pounds on certain players where that, and someone made a mention of it on Sunday, that I think only two players, their worth of two players on the bench cost more than the entire Ipswich Town football club, their
Football
budget.
club.
Yes, yes,
It's
yes.
abysmal for you to
It's
see
funny.
players at this level not turning up. These are international players. Rashford is just keeps his head down. He looks like he's struggling. He looks like he needs to see a therapist. He needs a psychologist. He needs everything right now. Marcus Rashford at Man United. And now they are saying, okay,
Could we do the
Victor
treatment
Gyökeres
that
and all
could we
of
do
these
the
players are
treatment that this
mentioned.
guy gave?
Um,
Could we do the treatment that this guy gave this person, gave Balotelli, when Balotelli was giving him issues and he told Balotelli directly, young man, I think you need to get a wife. Because if you can manage a woman, I think if a woman handles you, your head will be straight. I think that's what he needs to do. Because I personally, why I feel sad for Rashford is this. I've seen Rashford play. I have seen Rashford basically take this United team single-handedly to the Champions League. I have seen it several times. And I begin to wonder, where did it go wrong? First of all,
Hmm.
I want to pinpoint it at a particular incident. I think it was an incident whereby Rashford came out to tell the manager then that he didn't want to play up front
Up
as a
front.
number 9 again. This was especially on the back of the season whereby you were the top scorer for United. You basically had, I think, 18 or 19 goals that season. And you then said you don't want to play up front. Ever since he said he doesn't want to play up front, Rashford has gone missing. But the truth is this, I'm still saying it without any doubt. In fact, if Bishop comes, Bishop can play me for all I care. I'm going to say it. I look at that United attack, and if you give me a Højlund, a Kegzi, and a Rashford in the number 9 position, I will still go for Rashford because I know what he can do. Rashford can come from the flank and get it. He can come from the middle and get it. Højlund, if he is caged, Højlund has no plan B. Kegzi has already told you basically, Kegzi
It's
is
not
not the
number
kind
9.
of striker you need in the Premier League because the truth is this, the Premier League is fast paced. The Premier League defenders do not have time for sluggishness. If you're slow before you're deciding what to do with the ball, they've gotten the ball
The
from you
ball
and
is
they've moved on.
straight up.
Kegzi is too slow for the pace that the Premier League has got to offer. In all honesty, I do not know why United agreed with Ten Hag to bring that guy to Old Trafford. They should have left him. It cost him. But this one, in all honesty,
3.0.
I don't see how
for
United should
Everton,
not get it.
yes.
Let's be
3
realistic.
points.
Everton haven't scored in 270 minutes. Their last three
Poor.
games, they are yet to score.
But Jeffers, Man United are struggling, especially at the back. So I don't.
Especially at the back.
How do you see Everton, despite not being scoring goals so far, not scoring in this fixture? I see them scoring in this fixture because Man United, that backline can't
And this,
doesn't do anything right now. We saw them against Bodo Glimt yesterday. Bodo Glimt. I'm sorry, they are not
you know
up
why?
to
You know why I'm
Everton's
actually
ability.
you know you know why I'm actually worried about this game for United because that see if there's any game United should get 3 points in, it's this one because the next fixture you're going to the Emirates to play Arsenal. And
And
believe
so,
you me,
and so,
that
look at
United
this man.
backline, that
Look at this man.
that your backline looks like easy fodder. I hate to say it. It's looking easy. It's
Luke Shaw
looking
is back.
easy. It's
Luke Shaw is back.
Luka has never convinced me before. Luka is back. He will play a good game today. The next game he goes for a very silly tackle and he gets injured. Then you're back to square one. Is that what you want? I cannot trust Luka with anything. No, honestly, because he's as
and even
fragile as
Malacia.
anything. He could break.
Yeah,
Malasia too, the same thing. The guy is wait, where is Lenny Euro? Is he not back to fitness?
No,
he's back, but he's yet to use him.
yeah.
Okay. I think maybe there's still some hope. Anyway,
Mm.
there's still some hope.
I mean, as far as this fixture is concerned, Man United are struggling. Honestly, they are struggling,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
keep asking the question: who made that decision to sign Oyland and Zegzi? Zegzi cannot make a 5 yard pass.
He
I don't think I
cannot.
can remember a 6'3" player that is as bad as that when it comes to his hold up play is terrible. He's terrible with his back to goal. Every opposition defender in the Premier League is able to contain him. What is his quality? Who brought this
This
man
is
to the Premier League?
quality. That's the
I don't.
question.
I mean, I'm hearing
Quality.
he's going to go on loan in January. I don't think Amorim fans. I mean, I'm looking at. I wonder what he's doing in training because I'm like, this boy is. He probably needs to go somewhere and just continue and learn for some time before he can come back because he
Hmm.
is not up to scratch at all. Talk less of for a team like Man United, but this is where they find themselves. So much money spent with little to show for it. And I wish I had money more the best, like I've said. It's a game of two struggling teams, honestly. But I still think Everton's backline is more solid than Man United right now. And Man United are struggling up front and at the back. So if you do the math, this might actually be an Everton win or worst case scenario, a 0-0 draw.
A draw.
So I'm expecting a boring 0-0 draw in this game. It will be a
Ah,
tough one to watch. It will be an eyesore, trust me.
you are wicked. You are wicked. All right,
But
moving on to this
yeah,
game.
Man United fans, I think you can enjoy the viewing anyways.
All right, Tottenham will be welcoming Fulham. Fulham lost their game the last time out against Wolves, and then you see Tottenham is back after beating Man City 4-0.
That's
Jeffers,
you see, that is where we
what
are
about
going to
this?
have a problem.
Can we really say
That
Tottenham
is
are
where we are
back?
going to
They are
have a
never
problem.
back, though.
Tottenham are never back. Because this is the Tottenham side. This is the
Ah!
Tottenham side that actually had a fantastic performance against Aston Villa where they walloped Aston Villa 4-1.
And
Hmm.
then lost
And
to
then the
Ipswich.
very next
This week,
game, they lose to Crystal Palace.
Oh, yeah.
That's how
Then,
bad they've been.
that's how bad they
Now,
are.
that's how bad they are. The problem with Tottenham is inconsistency. Tottenham can give you a very good performance today, and then the next game there will be a shadow of themselves. This game, I am going to be careful to not put my neck, and I will just say I think it's either a Fulham win in this game or they play a draw. This is the reason. If there's one thing that Tottenham has never seemed to fail to deliver to me is
Hmm.
this. Every time they have an European game, that weekend, something strange is going to happen.
mhm.
They played yesterday against Roma. It was a 2-2 draw.
They considered a
It's as
last
if
minute
they tend to
equalizer
they consider
yesterday.
the last minute equalizer. They were actually leading 2-1. They consider the last minute equalizer to let them get into 2. It's as if they tend to leave their all in midweek in that European game. Then when they
Hmm.
come back to the game on weekend, they start strategizing on what to do. This is my word. 2, Fulham will be smarting, especially after that defeat they had
That
last week.
defeat.
No one expected them to lose to Wolves. To make matters worse, no one actually expected them to lose 4-1 to Wolves. When you consider the fact that they actually scored first,
Yeah.
but then it was as if they just unleashed something in Wolves, and Wolves basically became prime Barcelona in front of Fulham, and you were wondering what the hell exactly is going on right here. So the thing is, I think for them, it's a case of consistency is the key. You need to be able to follow up a good game with another good one. Because if you're giving me a Jekyll and Hyde performance, I will not take you serious. And that's just the honest truth. And that's the state whereby Fulham are in right now. No one is Tottenham are in right now. No one is taking them serious. So they have to just find a way to deliver. And once again, let's beg and get Postecoglou. Poste, please work on your defense line.
I mean, he
Be
has his
all
two
around
center.
attack.
He has his two starting center backs out right now.
They are out
So
Yeah.
already.
you can give
So he
him.
has
You
to
can
work
give him
on
a
it.
pass for that.
All right, guys,
But
let's move on to the El Clasico of the weekend at EPL. I rate one team is coming to Anfield and they can cause you problem,
I mean,
and that is Man City.
we've
Don't
we've
write them off. Don't write them off.
we've seen how they've caused in their last 6 games. They've caused almost no problems to anyone.
To anyone.
And if there's a ground that Pep has also said this, if there's a ground he doesn't want to come to, we all know it's Anfield. Unfortunately for him, and this is a big game.
This is a big.
On the other hand, we received very bad news this morning that Ibrahima Konate will be out for 5 to 6 weeks. It's
No, wait.
unfortunate.
What?
Yes,
Oh,
that Hendrick tackle.
yeah.
If
He
I
picked up
hold
enough.
Hendrick
He
in
picked
my
up
hands,
he picked up enough.
his blood will dry because he had no reason to make that tackle. It was the last moment. There is no way you are going through Van
It
Dijk
was
and
the
Konate
ending of the
this way.
game.
He's not just
There was
at the last second of the
Oh
game. He
my
got him
God.
injured, and he is in the form of his life for both the national
Yeah.
team
he is basically
and
the
for Liverpool.
key for
The
Liverpool's
key.
defense.
To Liverpool's defense this season. It's really unfortunate. I think yes, Gomez will have to come in. Conor Bradley will also put in a man of the match performance against Madrid.
Fantastic.
I
Yeah.
think he should be playing. He came out later in the game, but we need to know whether he will be able to feature tomorrow. Otherwise, Alexander Arnold and Gomez might have to come in on the right hand side. But regardless, other injury concerns. Alisson is still out. Jota is still out. Avi Elliott is back on the bench, which is good to see, given that Soboslai is a shadow of himself. He
Really?
can be able to. Yeah,
What's
Soboslai
wrong with what's wrong with Soboslai?
Yeah, he's been struggling.
he's been
He's
running lots
struggling
of
actually.
hard work and effort, but no end
It's been
product.
off.
We are not
And
seeing goals and
no end
assists. So
product, yeah.
yeah,
Enough.
it's a shame, really. And that's why you saw Jones start ahead of him in a big game against Madrid. So that says a lot about where he is right now. And I think Jones might actually keep his place again in this game. I don't see how McAllister and Gravenberch, the game they had on Wednesday was fantastic. There's no way
Fantastic.
they are getting benched this weekend. So
That Gravenberch, that guy is also solid though.
very
Oh, but
solid. He has
He's
been
very
he has
solid.
been re-energized since Slot came in, and he has taken up that position and he has made it his own.
his own.
Fantastic player, Gravenberch. So I think whilst contract situations wrangle on with Salah, Van Dijk, and Trent
A football boy
Alexander,
ain't got off now. I rate. Give him now.
I mean it's up to the
Give
owners.
him.
The fans might start protesting anytime soon, which I think is not a good look for a team that is currently top of the table in the Premier League and Champions League. You don't want to get distracted by all of these contract talks, because trust me,
Yes.
Salah will give another interview after a game and still talk about this same contract situation. He is not going to
Exactly.
back up. So this noise is not going away anytime soon, and Slot is having to answer questions about this contract
Questions.
situation
Yeah.
every game. So it is becoming an unwanted distraction. Let's get 3 points this weekend, and let's look forward to ending the season strong. On the other side of it is the form of Kelleher, our goalkeeper, who has saved back.
Fantastic also.
This is
Fantastic.
also a big situation for Anslot to handle. Alisson will be back from injury soon. I think it would be unfair and unfortunate for him to get back the gloves from Kelleher. I think Kelleher has done more than enough
Enough.
to
Yeah.
keep hold of that. And this is not the first time he has come in and he has done a decent job for Liverpool. Last season we saw it. 2 seasons ago we saw it as well. And then we have the Georgian goalkeeper from Valencia also coming at the end of the
Mama
season. So,
Zashvili. Yeah.
Mamadashvili. We'll wait to the end of the season to settle that goalkeeping conundrum, which is a good problem to have. For Man City, if this was a Man City team with the likes of Rodri and De Bruyne, I would say they might get a draw. I mean, that's usually their best hope whenever they come to Anfield. But this is a Man City devoid of a fully fit De Bruyne, Ballon d'Or winner in Rodri, and a man for the big moments like Kovacic. I don't know who is going to protect that back line. Because as far as I'm concerned, Rico Lewis, Gundogan, and Foden in that midfield, that is lightweight. Is not doing anything. So the midfield conundrum is there. Now let's go to the back line itself. Kyle Walker, like Jeffa said, has come back from Euro with a hangover. He is a shadow of himself. Akonji is struggling. John Stones has had his injury issues and is struggling. And Gvardiol needs right now to just be given some time off to go to a beach side and just relax.
Cool off.
Like just let him go somewhere and relax for like a week.
Cool off. Because the guy has been doing the job of 3 people in that back line.
He has been making one error after the other. In the Champions League, he made 2 errors.
2 errors.
In the weekend, I think he made 1 or 2 errors.
1 error.
He made 1 error, yes.
He needs to take him out of the firing line right now because he is struggling, badly struggling. Gvardiol. And I think Ake, who is back from injury, might have to come in on that side. And you are going up against a red-hot Mohamed Salah.
Yeah.
This is going to be a mismatch if Gvardiol is being played in that position. So they have lots of questions defensively. I think their average age right now is maybe 29 or 31, which is, it's outrageous that with all the quality they have this kind of a lot of old players. So I think there will be some changes made at the end of the season. We'll keep an eye on that. But this is not a good time for them to come to Anfield, if you ask me. And Pep said it that, he needs to. We also saw the scratches on his head after the game on.
Well, I want to ask, what did happen?
The man has been.
When he comes.
What's happen?
See, we've seen Pep in action. I remember there was the FA Cup game he played at Arsenal. We played against Arsenal at I think that game was at Wembley. Yes, in the semi-final when Arsenal scored. There was that moment, I can never forget that moment. It showed Pep giving tactical analysis to an empty chair. It was that
really
funny. It shows you
really?
It shows you
Bad.
It shows you how animated Pep can be sometimes. This thing, I actually said this thing that time. I said last time, I said, if there's one thing, is this point we might actually see if Pep is actually going directly to prove to become the best manager in the world. It's for this particular period. Why? Because this is it. We've always said that Pep has always had it easy whenever he gets to clubs. It's either he has the best players available in that side or he gets them brought over for him. This time is the first time in a very long while we are going to actually watch Pep rebuild the team from scratch. I wonder how he's going to do it.
I can't wait.
It's going to be difficult.
It's
going to be tough. But if he has to start it, he has to start it right now. It's going to involve a transfer in January 2020.
All right, before we leave, I want to. What's your score prediction in this game? Your score prediction.
I mean, with the injuries, if Konate was there, I would have probably been more confident of a clean sheet. But I think I don't know. I just don't see how Man City is pulling this off with the players unavailable. So I think Liverpool would win it for me, which will be 11 points. We don't want to get carried away or excited because there's still a long way to go. You can ask us now; they've been in this situation before. But you can only beat the team in front of you. So all we have to do is keep winning games. So I think Liverpool will win this one, 3-1 for me.
3-1. Jeffers, what do you think about this? Your score prediction going to this game?
I think I'll be going the opposite direction.
As an Arsenal
fan.
It's not that. It's not that. I have this sneaky feeling that this game might actually end in the same way Liverpool and City has always ended. A draw.
A draw.
Yes.
But that was a fully fit Man City team with the likes of De Bruyne and Rodri in.
The same thing might actually happen again. I don't know. I have that sneaky feeling there might actually be a draw.
A draw. All right, people. Anyway, you're watching from, drop your comments, your score prediction in all these games. This is how far we can go tonight. Irate, thank you so much for joining us on this one. I hope you guys will win your game on Sunday. But if you ask me, Irate, who do I support this weekend going into this game?
It's
okay. It's okay.
Yeah,
it's okay.
Just watch Everton and Man U.
Everton.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
All right, bro. Thank you so much, man.
All right, thank you.
Jeffers, say thank you to you too as well. Thanks for joining us. Massive love, bro.
Now let me go get ready to watch Brighton and Southampton. Yeah.
All right, let's go there. Let's go there, people. This is how far we can go tonight. Please subscribe to the channel, smash the like on the video, and also subscribe. On the same time, when we come back on Monday, God's willing, we'll be here to give you the analysis, the preview of all these beautiful games coming over the weekend. Until then, take it easy this weekend. Bye for now.